The other guy wanted to kill him, and he did. So he wasn't even 50 years old. So, they lost him. But it's amazing how time really embellishes people's reputation and impact. So I think it's fantastic what St. Croix is looking at doing. Even though he was only there a short period of time, what he brought to this country was very, very significant. And I look forward to participating and doing that. In his later days, he actually was against slavery. And so all that's good. So those are my comments. I don't think I need to ask questions after all those comments I made, if you have any questions, but I could take a couple if anyone has any questions. And I hope it was helpful when I stood in for the governor. Any questions? Okay.
Where in upstate New York was the family farm?
In a little town called Stormville, outside of Poughkeepsie. And as much as my dad didn't want us growing up in New York City and put us in a place of safety, it was actually a horrible environment to grow up in, because there were only, at that time, this is in the 50s and 60s, there were only 2 black families in the entire school district. So we had to fight with them people. But I had a lot of brothers. You understand? I mean, it was McCoy's, no, we're going to deal with you. But it was an issue. It was a lot of racism, a lot of names, a lot of insults and ridiculous stuff that he didn't mean to put us in that environment, but that's what it was like. That area, he sold the farm, but it was a great way to grow up because you had chores to do and things like that. And we all have gifts and talents. And my dad, and I didn't realize until I was much older, but my dad realized that this one, keep him away from the machines. And he's going to break something or break himself. Because I was always in the corn shed shucking the corn with the rats or doing the garden. And my brothers were doing other stuff. This one is not mechanical, right? I'm still not. I get the biggest kick out of just putting a light bulb in, you know? But I'm good at other things. I'm good at talking, you know? So my brothers used to always put me in the living room to get to talk my dad into giving us some ice cream. So, you know, we all have gifts and talents, and, you know, you get to use them at the appropriate opportunity. So I don't try to fix anything. Not a good idea. And any other questions? All right, thank you for, oh, yes.
So what are the top 3 qualities to which you attribute your success?
What was that?
Top 3 qualities that you attribute your success to?
Yeah, I think, sure. One is keeping your word. Because what's interesting is that your name travels a lot further than you think. That's an old expression, but today it's more real than ever, because people are going to Google you. You know, some of it's true, some of it isn't, but your name is, keeping your word is really, really important. And to talk about integrity. So when I talk about integrity, it's 2 parts. One is keeping your word and agreements with each other. The other is the integrity of telling someone you can do something, that you actually have the capacity to do it. Think of it as in a building. When I put up a steel beam, that beam has the integrity to hold up that part of the building. So a lot of times people say, I can do this, I can do that, but they don't have the capacity to do it, or don't even have access to the capacity. So that's one. The other is persistence, right? And the other thing I learned this from playing golf actually, is don't celebrate the good things too much, and don't let bad things affect you either. Just stay at an even keel. So that golf taught me that. And the other thing I learned about golf that I think is important is that golf is played with your feet, and the feet have to do with your foundation. So I realized I have to have a strong foundation. And I was talking to a young lady over here before, recognizing that my source of goodness, the love that I need, is already in my heart. The Lord gave me that. And the minute I try to get it from somebody else, I'm in trouble. You're going to be disappointed, because we all got issues, you know. And I learned also that my job is not to try to change other people. And if you find a connection professionally, whatever, professionally or personally, it's great. But I find if you try to fit a square peg in a round hole, there's going to be pain and suffering. You know, so in human beings, it's like You know, we're all God's miracles. And one thing he don't want is us messing with his miracle. You do that, you're going to get burned. So I learned that, then that disturbed your peace of mind. And if you don't have peace of mind, then you can't hear from God. And you can't